Welcome to Myth and Yarn. This is part 2 of the Mukluk Luggs Slipper. And to start off with, I'm going to show you how to work a half double crochet. To do that, you yarn over. Get this little extra yarn here. I'm going to work this in the third chain from the hook. So yarn over and put your hook in the loop, yarn over and pull it through. Now you've got 3 loops on your hook, and you're going to yarn over and pull them through all 3, and you're done. And I'm going to work another half double crochet by yarning over. In the pattern, you work these in the same stitch, 3 of them. So yarn over and pull it through that same stitch, yarn over, and then pull it through all 3 of the stitches on your hook. Now here's the last one. Yarn over, put it through the same loop, yarn over, pull it through that same loop that's getting a little crowded now, and then yarn over and pull through all 3 loops that are on your hook. There you go. Now I'm going to double crochet down these chain stitches. Depending on which size pattern you're working on, you'll have 1 chain stitch left on that little mini rope that we had, and so you're going to, in that last chain stitch, and then in the next loop in your round, we're going to work a decrease, so a double crochet decrease. So I'm yarning over, and I'm going to put my hook in the last chain, yarn over, and pull through the first 2 loops and leave the last 2 loops. Then I'm going to yarn over, and then the first stitch on the cuff part, I'll yarn over and pick up that. I'm going to pick up both loops there. Yarn over, pull it through, yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, and now you'll have 3 loops, and you'll yarn over and pull through all 3 to complete that decrease stitch. And now I'll just continue my double crochets. Okay, I've done my double crochets around the base of the slipper cuff. Well, the cuff's up here. We're still folded down, by the way. You want to just keep that flap folded down, and we're still, topper is upside down. And we're working these rows. We've been working with the outside facing us. We're not working with the inside facing us. Okay, now this decrease stitch is a little bit tricky. We're using a decrease here to kind of fill in so it doesn't make a gap in your slipper. So right here, this yarn right here that's connected to this vertical part is what I'm going to put, or the next stitch really, yarn over, because we're doing a double crochet decrease. So pick up the 2 loops, pull them through those loops, and then yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops of your hook. Then I'm going to yarn over, and at the base of this long part right here, I'm going to insert my hook, and there's still, it's hard to tell, but because they're crisscrossed, but there's still kind of like 2 loops that I stuck my hook into. Yarn over, pull it through that, yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops on your hook, and then yarn over and pull through the last 3 to complete that decrease. Now, get some more yarn. I'm going to work the double crochets down the back side of these double crochets, or that original chain stitch, either way you want to look at it. Sometimes it's hard to see where you're supposed to put your hook. But if you pull them apart, you can kind of see that better, huh? So here's the last one, last little space. I don't know if you can see that well in the camera. There. And then there is, before we worked those half double crochets, we'll loop in that little chain space that we created and do a slip stitch. There. In the next 3 stitches, I'm going to be working 2 double crochets in 1 stitch, and I also sometimes call those a V because it looks like a V. So you yarn over, just work a regular double crochet, and then in that same stitch work another double crochet, and there you can see it kind of looks like a V, kind of, sort of. Okay, I'm going to do that 2 more times. In this stitch, next stitch, we'll work 2 double crochets in that same space, and then now in the next stitch we'll do the same thing. First double crochet and the second double crochet in that same spot. Now we'll just move on and do 1 double crochet in each stitch all the way around. When the top of your boot is done, just make sure you count around and have the correct amount of stitches, because you'll want to be able to match that up when you get your sole done so that they each have the right amount of stitches. So for, I think the size 6-7 has 73 stitches at the bottom of this boot, and the size 8-9 has 81, and size 10-11 has 89. So if you find, and that's counting the chain 2 that's over here right there, so count that as a stitch. If you find that you are short, you could do a increased stitch in the back of it and it wouldn't show, so that would be fine, just so that you have the same amount of stitches that the pattern says. With the 2 boot soles done, this is the smaller one that goes on the inside, and this is the outer one that shows. This one you have cut off from the skein of yarn and set aside while you work the bottom one, and it's still connected to the skein of yarn. So I'll put the smaller one, or the top, this one that goes on top, inside the larger bottom one, and then you'll insert your hook into the one that's on top, that's closest to you, and then the one on the bottom. And then get that yarn end and pull it snug with the hook, and same with the skein of yarn on the bottom, and then just yarn over and pull it through like a chain stitch. And now you will work another just regular chain stitch, and then I'm going to stick this yarn end in here in between. And then what you'll do is you'll pick up both loops on the one that's on the inside or on the top. Oh, I want to yarn over first. This is a double crochet. Pick up both loops, and then on the one that's on the outside, just pick up the loop that's closest to you, or the inner loop. This one, not the outside one. Oops, I got them both. And I don't want both. I just want this one that's closest. There we go. Then yarn over and pull the yarn through those loops you just picked up. So that would be 3 loops on the hook. Then yarn over and do 2. Yarn over and pull through the last 2. Okay, we'll do that again. See how close I can get to the camera. Yarn over and pick up both loops on the inside sole and the inner loop on the bottom sole. There we go. Now yarn over and we'll pull the yarn through these 2 from the top sole and this bottom one, totaling 3. Yarn over, pull through the next 2, yarn over, pull through the next 2. Yarn over and we'll work another one. Pick up both loops on the top and 1 loop that's on the inside or closest on the bottom, and then yarn over and pull through those 3. Then yarn over, pull through the next 2 and the next 2, and you just keep working that double crochet all the way around to attach the 2 soles together. And when you're done, I'll probably repeat myself with this, but don't cut the yarn from the skein. It's time to get this slipper put together. So here is the loop you want to leave, and don't cut the yarn off the skein, just leave it there. And then the boot top, this is where we would do the slip stitches at the end of a round right here. But I don't want to match those up because I don't want the finishing knot or weaving or anything to be here on the front of the slipper where it's more visible. So I'm going to turn it around like this so that the ending knot and weaving in the raw of the yarn end, will be back here where it doesn't show up so much. So what I want to do is try and match up these stitches, and you can do it just visually, kind of matching it up and finding the loops that match of the top that match where this yarn loop is, which is like about right here and here. Or if you're a perfectionist and that's not exact enough for you, what you can do is come up here, and on the last round that we did, we worked 3 V's, or where you would put 2 double crochets into 1 stitch. Anyway, those are right here at the very toe part of the slipper or boot mukluk. So here's the 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So the middle one is right here. This would be a place on the boot top where you can actually see the middle of the top. On the back we don't have anything like that. So I'm going to mark those 2 middle stitches with a safety pin. Then I'm going to do the same thing on the soles, and this double crochet doesn't have the double stitches, so I have to look over here, turn it around, where I can see where those are at. And here they are, the 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2. So I'm going to mark the middle 2, and then if I go up from these 2 stitches, it would be these 2 double crochets right here. It's probably really hard to see on this a darker colored brown yarn. And then I'm going to count, not on that one with the sole, won't do to count on that. Okay, so I'm going to count how many stitches over from the safety pin I have to go before I get to my yarn loop. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. Now you might want to write that number down. It's going to be different for whatever size slipper that you're making. So 28, so I want to count over the same on here, and that will show me where I need to start on the boot top. So here we go, counting over from where I safety pinned. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. I'm going to put a pin there. Like that. And now I can get the hook back into this loop. And I'm not going to yarn over because we're going to be working single crochets, but right past this point where the safety pin is, so right here, I'm going to pick up those 2 loops, and on here I'm going to pick up the 2 loops right here next to the crochet hook. Move that. Pick up both loops of the top, both loops of the bottom. Yarn over, pull through all 4, yarn over, and pull through the 2 last loops on your hook. And now it's easy peasy. Just work your way around the back of the slipper and all the way around the toe of the slipper or Mukluk boot back to this starting place. So pick up both loops of the top, both loops of the sole, yarn over, pull through all 4 loops, yarn over and pull through the last 2 on your hook. Oh, I almost yarned over. We're not doing double crochets. Pick up the top 2 loops, sole 2 loops, yarn over, pull through all 4, yarn over and pull through the 2. We'll do one more. Pick up 2 loops of the boot top, 2 loops of the sole, yarn over, pull through all 4 loops, yarn over and pull through those 2. All around. We'll work the last couple of single crochet stitches and finish off this mukluk. And now I just pick up the 2 loops from that first stitch and pull it through. I need some scissors. Now I can start pulling in those yarn ends, weaving them into, I could pull them into in between the soles with those 2 soles, those yarn ends. Then I wouldn't have to weave them. Cute. So, to find the full pattern for these adorable slipper Mukluks boots, you can find them at Myth and Yarn on Etsy. And so that link will be in the description box below.